Pablo Picasso is one of the most recognized and influential artists in the history of humankind. His name is synonymous with modern art, creativity, and transformation. To understand the complete life of Pablo Picasso is to explore not only the journey of an artist, but also the journey of a century. His life spanned nearly 92 years, from 1881 to 1973, years filled with innovation, turmoil, reinvention, and relentless productivity. Picasso was not merely a painter. He was a sculptor, printmaker, ceramicist, stage designer, poet, and playwright. He lived in a way that blurred the line between art and life itself. To trace his life from birth to death is to witness how genius shaped the trajectory of art in the 20th century. Pablo Diego José Francisco de Paula, Juan Nepomuceno Crispiniano, Maria Remedios de la Santísima Trinidad Ruiz. Picasso was born on October 25, 1881, in Málaga, Spain. His name alone reflected the traditions of Catholic Spain, where children were given lengthy names to honor saints and relatives. He was the first child of Don José Ruiz y Blasco, a painter and art teacher, and Maria Picasso y López. It was his mother's maiden name, Picasso, that would later become immortal. His father, José Ruiz, was not a major artist, but a craftsman and teacher with strong traditional training. He recognized his son's extraordinary gift at a young age, providing both encouragement and early artistic education. The legend tells us that Picasso's first word was pis, short for lapis, meaning pencil. From the very beginning, drawing and art were in his blood. By the age of 7, Picasso was already showing skills far beyond his years. His father began teaching him drawing techniques, focusing on anatomy, figure drawing, and oil painting. When Pablo was 13, his father reportedly gave up painting altogether, convinced that his son had surpassed him. Picasso entered the School of Fine Arts in Barcelona, known as La Lonja, where his prodigious talent shocked his teachers. At an age when most children struggled with simple sketches, Picasso was already mastering classical forms. Yet he quickly grew restless, rejecting academic conventions, seeking new ways of expression. In 1895, the family moved to Barcelona after the death of Picasso's younger sister, Conchita, from diphtheria. This tragedy haunted him throughout his life. In Barcelona, Picasso found inspiration in the vibrant cultural life of the city, especially in the café Els Quatre Gats, a gathering place for artists, writers, and bohemians. He was exposed to symbolism, Art Nouveau, and modernist ideas. He befriended Carlos Casagemas, a poet and painter, whose tragic suicide in 1901 profoundly affected Picasso and became a catalyst for his famous Blue Period. The Blue Period lasted from 1901 to 1904 and was marked by somber tones and melancholic subjects. Shades of blue and blue-green dominated his paintings. He depicted beggars, blind people, alcoholics, prostitutes, and the marginalized. These works reflect loneliness, despair, and the weight of tragedy, often interpreted as Picasso's mourning for Casagemas. Paintings like La Vie and The Old Guitarist from this period reveal an empathy for the downtrodden, an emotional intensity that remains deeply moving. From 1904 to 1906, Picasso transitioned into what is called the Rose Period. He moved to Paris, the heart of the art world, where he lived in poverty in the district of Montmartre, at a building known as the Bateau Lavoie. This was a time of newfound light and warmth. The colour palette shifted to pinks, oranges, and reds. The subjects often included circus performers, acrobats, harlequins, and lovers. Works such as Family of Saltimbanques captured the fragile romance and transient nature of bohemian life. It was also during this time that Picasso met Fernande Olivier, his first significant romantic partner in Paris, who became a muse in many of his works. The turning point in Picasso's career came in 1907 with the creation of Les Demoiselles d'Avignon. This groundbreaking painting broke away from traditional perspective, representing 5 nude women with fragmented angular forms influenced by African masks and Iberian sculpture. It shocked the art world and is widely considered the birth of Cubism. Along with Georges Braque, Picasso developed Cubism into one of the most influential movements of the 20th century. They experimented with breaking objects into geometric shapes and reassembling them from multiple viewpoints. Analytic Cubism, with its muted tones and complex structures, eventually gave way to synthetic Cubism, which incorporated collage, texture, and brighter colours. Works like Still Life with Chair Caning and Three Musicians redefined what painting could be. Picasso's life was inseparable from his art, and his art was inseparable from his relationships. He was known for his intense and often turbulent relationships with women who served as both lovers and muses. After Fernande Olivier came Eva Guel, then Olga Koklova, a Russian ballerina whom he married in 1918. Their marriage coincided with a period of neoclassicism in Picasso's work, where he drew upon classical traditions while still maintaining a modern spirit. Paintings from this time reflect solidity, harmony, and a return to order after the chaos of the First World War. In the 1920s, Picasso became associated with the Surrealists. Though he never formally joined the movement, his work took on more distortion, eroticism, and psychological depth. His affair with Marie-Thérèse Walter, who was much younger than him, marked a new phase of creativity. Works like Girl Before a Mirror and Nude Green Leaves and Bust from the 1930s reveal sensuality, intimacy, and experimentation with form. Marie-Thérèse gave birth to Picasso's daughter Maya, further intertwining his family life with his artistic evolution. The Spanish Civil War profoundly impacted Picasso, both personally and politically. In 1937, he painted Guernica, perhaps his most famous work, in response to the bombing of the Basque town by German and Italian forces allied with Franco. Guernica is a massive black and white canvas filled with twisted figures, screaming horses, shattered bodies, and symbolic images of suffering. It became a universal anti-war symbol, condemning violence and fascism. The painting toured internationally, raising awareness of the atrocities of war and cementing Picasso's place as not only an artist but also a moral voice. During the Second World War, Picasso remained in Paris under German occupation. He continued to work, though he faced restrictions. His art from this time reflects the darkness of war, but he also explored sculpture and ceramics. After the war, Picasso joined the Communist Party, aligning himself politically with leftist ideals. His political involvement sometimes caused controversy, but he insisted on the social responsibility of the artist. The post-war years saw Picasso's productivity reach extraordinary levels. He worked in ceramics at Vallauris, creating thousands of pieces that revealed his joy in experimentation. He painted doves, which became symbols of peace, used in communist congresses and posters. His relationships continued to shape his art. Françoise Gillot, with whom he had 2 children, Claude and Paloma, represented a new chapter of inspiration. After Gillot, Jacqueline Roch entered his life, becoming his second wife and remaining with him until his death. Picasso's later years were marked by tireless creativity. He continued to reinvent his style, painting variations on works by Velázquez, Delacroix, and Manet, engaging in dialogues with the masters of the past. His late paintings, filled with bold colours, wild brushwork, and erotic energy, reveal an artist still pushing boundaries even in old age. Critics were divided, some dismissing his late works as chaotic, others seeing them as the culmination of his genius. Picasso lived with immense fame, wealth, and controversy. He was celebrated and criticised, loved and resented. He produced an estimated 50,000 artworks, including paintings, drawings, prints, ceramics, and sculptures. Few artists in history have left behind such an immense and varied body of work. On April 8, 1973, Pablo Picasso died at his home in Mougins, France, at the age of 91. He left behind not only an artistic legacy that continues to shape modern and contemporary art, but also a life story filled with passion, contradictions, and relentless drive. He was buried in the grounds of his chateau at Vauvenargues, near Aix-en-Provence in the south of France. The complete life of Pablo Picasso is not just the story of an artist, but the story of modern art itself. From a gifted child in Málaga to the most famous painter of the 20th century, Picasso embodied the idea of reinvention. He lived through revolutions, wars, and cultural upheavals, always absorbing, transforming, and creating. His name is now a symbol of creativity, audacity, and vision. His art remains a mirror to human experience, beauty and horror, love and anguish, tradition and innovation. The story of Picasso's life from birth to death is the story of how one man's boundless imagination changed the way humanity sees itself and its world. He made painting not merely a representation, but a language of ideas, emotions, and visions. Even decades after his passing, Pablo Picasso continues to challenge, inspire, and astonish. His life was the mountain, his art the horizon, and his legacy eternal.